1, go!
69 qualification matches, 13 playoffs has led to these two alliances coming out on top, fighting to be our Chezy champions. 254 getting beached on a piece of algae during the autonomous period, potentially spelling out disaster, but their partners aid them off the algae, and Blue maintains its lead of 86 to 68 out of the autonomous period. Red Alliance machines dropping off pieces of algae up towards the net. Blue Alliance looking to do the same. Poofs, Jack in the Bot, and Iron Claw each with one piece of algae each. Both alliances making a concentrated effort on filling up their respective net with algae. A little bit of coral action now being seen from the Red Alliance. 604 with a piece of level 4 coral, followed by their partners, the Warbots. Meanwhile, on the blue side of the field, Jack in the Bot chasing down a rogue piece of algae, but they get it in the end and toss it up where it snugly rests within the confines of the net. Score is now 152 to 128 with the red at a slight advantage, but Blue still has a minute and 10 seconds left in which anything can happen here. 604 and the Warbots both looking to fill up that Red Alliance reef. Blue side doing the same as well. Jack in the Bot looking to pick up a piece of coral from off the ground, heading on over to an empty level 2 branch. 604, they're working on neatly stacking pieces of coral in the trough in preparation for the end game when all the branches are full. Just a reminder, folks, the neater you stack pieces of coral in the trough, the more you can fit. And 604 seems to understand this concept to a T. Look at those neat stacks on the Red Alliance trough. Meanwhile, Blue Alliance still working on some of those empty branches. 254 not quite moving. Let's hope they're able to get moving and climb up on that cage in the end of the match. But in the meantime, all three red robots up in the air. Blue robots attempting to match Iron Claw up. Jack in the Bot popping up like their name. 254 not quite getting it as the match comes to a close. We'll be back with your official results in just a moment. Scores coming up on the board for final match 1. This one going to the Red Alliance with a score of 259 to 247. Red Alliance taking the advantage here, but Blue still in it. Possible to come back. They just need to win the next one and bring it to a tiebreaker. We're gonna head on over to the RSN desk for a detailed match breakdown.
So despite a record auto there from the Blue Alliance, some disruption, getting stuck on algae during that match, and then looked like 254 had some drive issues.
Yeah, I think you might have seen a little bit of nerves come up to play there when you're playing at this high level, right? You got a lot to contend with emotionally, and I think that sometimes when you start going, maybe something goes a little wrong. You saw 29-10 kind of like bounce off the reef a little bit, get stuck 254, immediately going into action in unbeaching them. But once you throw off that rhythm, which we've seen all weekend, it's tough to make up ground on that. And then a little bit later in the match, it seemed like 254 was facing some challenges. Aiden, what do you see about it?
Yeah, I made the prediction going in that the team that was leading out of Autonomous was going to just play it cleanly for the rest of the game. Apparently not. Apparently we had to throw Algae into the mix. And those C mines kind of coming up for both 254 and 2910. So they had a super strong Autonomous phase. You can see that overwhelming presence on level 4 and level 3, marked by the yellow chunks on the reef. On blue side of the field, and then after that, they never got their mojo back. They hit an Algae, they got stuck. 2910 had to release them, and then 5 seconds later, 2910 gets stuck. 254 has to release them, and then 254 just at some point after getting stuck, the drive base, as we said, it wasn't quite working. They weren't moving sideways, but they were wasting time and just could not get the coral finished up. We can see them getting just overwhelmed in presence as we go into those teleop with the color matching scores here. 16-4 on L1. That L1 does make just all of the difference here. Blue just could not catch a break. Hopefully it's just some unlucky bounces and they'll be able to spring right back into it going into the finals too.
Yeah, and I think looking at this match from like a purely algae side of things, right? Like both alliances played it very safe with that in terms of trying to do that execution very early, but you can find that the importance of that, right? Like if it doesn't go perfectly to plan and you see these high level matches, if you're not getting them in the net as quickly as you possibly can, it can come back to bite you.
Red Alliance showing their consistency. This is pretty much the same that they scored in the previous matchup in match 11. So they're sort of setting the back wall here, and now Blue Alliance on the back ropes, having to bring their level of game up beyond what Red Alliance has been able to consistently show.
Yeah, when I took a little bit of a break earlier, I went down and talked to a couple of the coaches and students from 581, and I asked, like, oh, how are you going to play it? And they had mentioned, we're just going to go out there and we're going to do our thing, kind of the same thing. And we saw that in this match. They were really going out and they're doing the exact same thing again, which is reminiscent of the high-level matches where you want to get in that rhythm and you want to develop almost a play-by-play, probably more than we've ever seen in an FRC game before, right? Like you're coming out of auto and you have basically a script that you're following, and I think the Red Alliance really had that teed up and we're executing perfectly on it.
Yeah, the number 6 Alliance here really just able to stick to that flow chart that is Reefscape at this level, and that flow chart gameplay, getting everything done. And it's not like for Blue, there was any one thing that they could have done different, right? It was a stack up. Even if they had gotten that deep climb instead of that park, even if they had matched the coral perfectly, right? It's not one thing that you can change about that match. It's a whole mess of things that just the flow chart kept deviating for them.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that, any of these problems, you can't ever really point, like there's no blame to happen with them, right? Like if you're just driving in a piece of algae, just like happens to bounce and skitter in front of your way, how do you practice avoiding that if it's like out of your control? And I think we just saw a couple of moments like that for the number 1 seed.
So looking to continue their clean matches, the number 6 Alliance is up 1-0 in finals, and the number 1 Alliance looking to push it to a rubber match in finals match 2. But for now, we'll go back down to the field to get ready.